Hey, welcome to Spit a Swab Beer Review. This is Jammer with.
Oh, I'm appearing out of nowhere. Look at me. I'm his helper elf. Let's just call me Jammer Fan, president of Elf Incorporated.
Yes, and we're doing like a drinking and thinking type thing where we're
Drinking
just
and thinking, yeah. Yeah.
discussing life's misadventures.
I'm gonna have to go grab my oh man, it looks like I'm wearing a even though this is a ball cap, look dude, it looks like I'm wearing a beret and with my shirt, I look like an art fag. I mean, sorry,
Yeah,
artistic
yeah. You look like a
um
French
an
bitch.
artistic a French-based European artistic exchange student, Jammer.
Okay.
Get it right or pay the price.
Yeah, I'm doing a crazy drink here too. I'm doing
Yeah.
Wicked
Uh,
Brewing, Wicked Weed Brewing's
oh, wicked weed.
Pernicious Indian Pale Ale. Yeah. All right, we're doing it. We're doing it well.
Um, and I have indiscriminate malt liquor. This is just a nasty malt liquor. Trust me.
Yeah. Cheers, my friend.
Oh yeah. It's like yeah. Cheers. Oh fuck. Mine's not very friendly.
I saw in the news today that they were talking about UFOs. And they were talking about going ahead and releasing the information. If it's possible
Yeah.
that we can release the information for the whole world to know whether UFOs really exist or anything. My comment about that, and you can correct
Yeah.
me if I'm wrong,
All right.
but
I
the
will.
government in general has been 20 to maybe 30, 40, 50 years in advance of whatever they have allowed the public to know, and especially after World War II. And I feel as though that a lot of those UFOs that supposedly that everybody saw from the 40s on was basically research projects going on with the U.S. government after World War II's information that they received from the German scientists and so forth, and
So I
like the
definitely have.
with like the B-52 bomber, the stealth bomber, that was part of the German thing, and they held that quiet for at least 20 to 30 years.
So
It's
you want my straight up just dry toasty cracker version of like what I think is like just
I
my.
want you what your honest opinion.
All right. Is that 95% chance there's never been any alien contact. So we're just going to go off the 5%. The 5% chance that there is, it would make sense that certain governments would just get certain puzzle pieces of technology, like a certain craft crashes in Roswell, and they get a bit of propulsion, and maybe another crash happens in another country, and they learn a little bit about stealth. They're engineering it, and then we learn from each other, and it's like maybe some of our aircraft and some of the things we developed were this cross-pollinated global thing. Like there was different crashes across the globes that, like obviously, if it all happened in one place, then that country would be a superpower, right? Like if you had alien technology, carte blanche, like you could like because that's why I don't think countries have it. Why would China put up with our shit if they could just time travel and materialize and do all this shit, right?
Absolutely, I agree with you on that. I think that in general, if there is any UFO per se outside involvement,
So I would say, and let's talk about percentages. I would say if there's a UFO crash, we maybe recover 1% of the technology. 1% we understand.
yeah,
And can you imagine taking that 1% and building a fighter jet off that 1%? It's still going to be powerful, but it's not.
and
You're
I
probably
also
never
believe
going
that
to.
if you talk about recovering uh, crashes or recovering
Yeah,
technology and everything like that, why
yeah,
hasn't one of the biggest continent or biggest countries,
yeah,
uh, China or Russia,
yeah.
recovered? any of this technology and being able to reverse engineer it.
So some people say China did, and the whole air balloon fiasco that happened, what, I don't know, a year and a half ago now or whatever. Remember that, like, whole
Yeah,
stupid we're
yeah.
shooting was them testing out like UAP, unmanned aerial phenomenon technology kind of bullshit or whatever.
I kind of agree with
And
that to a
that's a big
degree, but
stretch, and that's kind of bullshit. I agree. I'm just saying that's kind of like what people that's where those conspiracy theories start to kind of formulate. Is like people are like, what if they're testing it out, or whatever.
I think in a lot of ways that it could be true, but in a lot of ways I think yeah, they haven't gotten the information we've gotten.
And so if we rule all that out and we actually get to the point where we're like, maybe these beings are real, that's even worse because they probably don't have our best interest in mind, right? That's the one thing I kind of got to
It's
is
like the
that
Twilight Zone to serve
yeah,
man. Yeah,
yeah,
to
yeah.
serve man in a literal sense. You know, let's serve him as a dish.
And I think that, like, so I don't like to put one party in the box or the other, but I think that, like, liberals in that situation only, okay, like for the sake of this argument, liberals would be volunteering to be getting eaten, and then the conservatives would be like, maybe we shouldn't do this. Like, that's
Yeah.
where they're just going down the conveyor belt, and the conservatives are like looking at everything, and wondering. And that makes me think about modern society, though, actually, because again, man, I'm more liberal than you and Shagdog are, because
Yeah.
and mostly, dude, honestly, is because I think that, like, our fucking, and this is like fucking everybody over, including Shagdog, is our healthcare system.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm not saying that we need to go to some commie fucking socialist thing. I'm just saying that we need to fucking, like, start kicking ass against the insurance companies for being dickheads.
Well, back in the '70s, they turned around and they said, okay, '70s, school costs, higher education costs were lower because there was people could go to school and work a summer and then to pay for their college
Yeah,
for all that next semester from
yeah,
what they earned from the summer.
yeah.
Well, that's
My dad
impossible
did that. My
today.
dad did that. Like, he did that exact same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's impossible today because government got involved and with student
Yeah.
loans and so forth. The same thing goes for healthcare. Used to be able to pay for your health care outright with the doctor,
Yeah.
conversing with the doctor, talking to the doctor, say, hey, I don't have any insurance. Can I pay for it outright? And they would figure out a cost
Yeah.
and they would turn around and agree to it and they would turn around and pay it.
Yeah.
And it was more affordable. Then the government got involved with student loans and insurance and stuff like that for this stuff, and the costs have gone up tremendously. It's just,
Yeah.
and here's the perfect example. The perfect example is eye insurance. Why is health insurance different from eye insurance?
Yeah. And then I can see why dental's different, but dude, I'm with you on the eye insurance thing.
I
And
don't even see why dental is different because it's all part of your health.
sure, but the complexity of, so, like, I had to take control of my dental health, dude, a couple years ago, and I had to learn about everything. I had to learn how to give myself a self exam, dude. I could look in your mouth, I could look in my mouth, Jammer, and I could identify all kinds of stuff going on. And hopefully, with you, it'd be fine and you'd be good. But I will say that it is an art. Like, and dentists get made fun of, like, oh, you're not a real fucking doctor,
But
and
they are.
that and I'm always like, fuck yeah, they aren't real doctors, but, like, if there's any dentists out there, hopefully they will, like, get some kind of, like, pleasure out of this diatribe. But it's it's nothing should be all tied together. It should all be one universal thing, you know.
All right, so that's the
um
first and foremost part. But then, second, the whole thing about insurance in general and everything. Uh, healthcare.
Well, here's the thing. Hold on. One thing I want to say, Jammer, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think it's essential to this conversation. The number one complaint about universal health care in the Western nations is the wait time. The joke that it takes a pregnant woman 13 months to see a fucking OBGYN, right? Like she's already had the baby by then.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get that out there to be like, hey, there's something bad too. I didn't want to just be like, oh, socialism.
Oh
Oh.
no, no, that's you're right. That's a big part of it. But
Rationing of
in
they call
general,
it rationing of care, right? Like
yeah.
if everybody has it for free, they're gonna like go to the ER for anything, right? Oh, I have a cold. Go to the
And
ER.
let's face it, if the government is involved in anything, it's always going to have delays
Uh huh.
and everything. And not only
It
that,
will.
but how do you know it's for your benefit?
Yeah.
The government has their own agendas and everything. So if the government deems, okay, well, is there any way we can get rid of the older population in any kind of way? Well, yeah, we can get rid of the older population by not giving them this or that, or we can turn around and give them this or that, and they will end it, like Soylent Green. Let's go ahead and have them convinced that they should go ahead and commit suicide, and the most efficient and pleasurable way that we could possibly do. And hey, guess what? You will go and you will turn around and commit yourself to this, and you'll become part of the Soylent Green.
Jammer, I can't wait to tell you this because I'm looking at you right now. Which, by the way, hold on. Doesn't it look like I'm wearing a beret, even though this is like a baseball cap? If
Yeah,
I go like that,
yeah, yeah. You're a
I look
beret.
like I'm like the liberal. Like I'm like
You're one of those snooty French bastards.
I like Jammer. The one thing you forget about is the revolution of the people. The revolution,
Ah,
all
parlez-vous
the people.
français?
But that's exactly what you forget about, Jammer, is that the unstableness of people, they don't really care what type of um, schemes you create where what you're talking about these caste systems being created and these like different types of you know because let's face it, in a society, aren't there people that have to be the gardeners, that have to be the caretakers of people's kids, and then there's the elite? Like there, that's how we have society set up right now, and I'm not saying we need to stop that. In fact, you know what? Why don't we stop talking about that shit and you tell me about your beer?
Oh no, no, I'm all right. Go ahead, keep talking. I was just wondering how much percentage this was. The seven
No,
point
I
three.
actually, this is a beer podcast. This isn't like Fox
Well,
News.
this is Wicked Weed Brewing's Pernicious Indian Pale Ale at 7.3 ABV. I was just wondering how much this is going to affect me. That's all. Go ahead. I wasn't being disrespectful. I'm sorry if that came off as being disrespectful and not listening to you. I was looking at for the alcohol content. That's all.
Jammer, not only was it not being disrespectful, but I actually just want to enjoy doing this podcast with you. And I want to I want to just back off the, super nitro political fuel and just, who knows what I think 2024 is going to be worse than 2023. I'll just say that much. I think it's going to be a trying time, especially
I
election
hate to
season. I think,
concur with your opinion, but I do.
and I want to, these are the last days of 2023. This might be the best year of the rest of your life, in my life. So I just want to just enjoy being in your presence, Jammer, because you are such a cheerful, great, amazing person. And I just want to
Well, I
just,
appreciate that.
yeah.
I don't know if I deserve it, but I appreciate it. Yeah.
I'm also trying to frame you as being gay too, as blackmail. I'm like,
Uh,
oh, Jammer, I love you so much. You're like, I love you too, Jammer fan. And I'm like, all right, now I have you for gay blackmail. If Trump
no.
becomes president, I can target you now, and you have to give me money. I,
It's
sorry,
crazy, but I understand.
I'm fucking with you, man. Sorry, I had to ruin it. We
No, but
had
I
like,
mean, in general, I do think that a lot of what you were saying before was, right on, spot on. I mean, let's face it, we don't know.
and this could be 2023 could be the best. This could be the best year of the years we have left, right? Because
Oh,
right now
exactly.
we're both comfortable. We both have drinks in hand, women to
Oh, yeah.
copulate. Like beer and women and meat. You know,
Yep. We're meeting all the fundamentals right now.
do you have a a, a turkey leg or some kind of meat you could eat if you needed to, sir?
Well, I still have leftover roast beef from Christmas.
All
So,
right, all right, and you got ale, so meat, ale,
yeah,
and then woman.
yeah, got that. And I
yeah,
got bread too.
yeah, yeah, we got that. No,
I mean, I'll
but
tell you this
that's
much. I went out after Thanksgiving. We had a couple of things going on at Thanksgiving. We had
yeah,
multiple people that didn't want this or that. So we
yeah.
had a ham, we had a turkey, and we had a roast
Oh,
beef
ooh, woo, woo,
for everybody. That roast beef was
ooh.
so good that when Christmas came around and I said, "Hey, who are all are we gonna have here?" And everybody said, "Okay, we're gonna have this and everything like that." I said, "Okay, so everybody's good with roast beef." Okay, good. I went out and bought a roast beef. I didn't look at the price. That's how crazy. All right, that's how crazy it was. I
Well,
didn't go out and look at a price. I just
all
went
right,
and
we should
picked
go
a
for it.
roast beef, a rib roast. Rib
Okay.
roast.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Like that's a good cut.
Yeah. And guess how much that cost me?
85.
65.
Oh, damn. It's like Joe Biden would be proud that I was
Yeah.
like overestimating him.
I paid
I was close though,
$65
85.
for
You
this.
probably thought I was going to go under, right? That I was going to be
Yeah.
like 20.
Yeah.
Like I'm like no, 85. You're like no, 65.
And the thing about it is I don't know how much it costs per pound. I didn't look at that. I looked at the
yeah.
size of it and I said that's what I need and
Yeah.
I bought it. And
Yeah.
it was bigger than what I needed, but because I still have leftovers.
Yeah.
But I was happy that I had it because in case anybody wanted to take with them uh, leftovers, you
How
know.
did you cook that bad boy? Just with surrounded with veggies, low and slow, based in it, or what?
Well, we turned around, seasoned it and everything, and then seared it,
Yeah.
for the
Yeah, sear.
thing.
Yeah, I got to
Mhm.
sear it to get
And
them
then we
earlier
cooked it at
reaction. Yeah.
325 for about 4 hours and everything, and then
Nice.
everything was good. Yeah, I mean
Did
it
it
was
have the
good.
rib bones in and stuff when you were cooking it? All the bones in and everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's good, man. All that stuff infuses into the meat too. So,
Oh yeah, you better believe it.
oh yeah, yeah. And you got it. You got. Oh, I mean, I don't know if you basted it or not. Some people baste, some people
Yes,
don't.
we turned around and basted it as it was cooking. We turned around, went
Yeah.
over there and basted it. Turned around, went back again and
Nice.
basted it. And we kept adding
Nice.
that, and then we made gravy out of the drippings, and so.
That's exactly what you have to do. Oh man, you guys are. You're following the. You're making me proud, Jammer. I was gonna say
And
like,
get this, the leftovers so much better than with the day of.
oh, that happens. Like can
Because I
happen that
turned
way.
around and had leftovers of that roast beef, that rib roast,
Sure.
and mashed potatoes and the vegetables and all that stuff together with the gravy. And let me tell you, it tastes damn so good. Damn so
Yeah.
good. I came home from work that one day and I'm like, oh, let me go ahead and fix me a plate. And I cooked me up a plate and
Nice.
everything. And I'm like, damn, I can't believe this tastes so damn good. Yeah.
That's awesome about home cooking, like especially like if you've made if you or somebody in your circles made it, it's
Yeah.
nice to have that,
Let me
man.
tell you, one thing that most people don't acknowledge or even realize when you have food that's made with love,
Yeah.
it makes a big difference, especially if you appreciate what you're getting. I don't know
Yeah.
about you. I don't know if you say a grace or any of that stuff for when you're dinner and all that stuff, but you should
Sure.
acknowledge the
Yeah.
fact that an animal sacrificed its life in the way, whether it was
Oh,
knowingly or
yeah.
not. You
Yeah,
should
man.
sacrifice plant life, the same thing. I don't care
So
what
my
anybody says.
my
Plant life is alive and they are responsive and they know a lot more than what
yeah.
you think they know.
No, even my last name has to do with like Swedish hunters and stuff. Like, I had like my family. I come from a long line of hunters, and much to the disappointment of my dad, I don't have a crazy gun safe like he does with like a million machine guns. And I'm just like, look, if there's ever a zombie apocalypse or the liberals take over, I'll just come to your house. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't really, but I did a lot of hunting as a kid, and I know how to hunt, and I've shot animals. I've had to dress them and clean them, and a lot of people do not understand that process, man. And I've done it a few times. Like, I could gut and clean and dress an animal and stuff, but it's not a fun thing, man. When you're
No, it's
cutting that
not.
set,
And
you're
it shouldn't
draining
be.
the shit and piss and stuff out of an animal, and you're cleaning stuff. Like, man, this is stuff that a lot of people don't know. They're never exposed to it. I've been limitedly exposed to it, and even then it's like, fuck, man. It's you know
But the thing about it is, Jammerfan, it shouldn't be the most fun thing. It shouldn't
of
be.
course not.
Because
Of
you have
course not.
taken a life, and granted,
Sure.
it was necessary for you to survive, but it's still life, and you should acknowledge the fact that that life was sacrificed, and whether willingly or not, to to for you to survive, and you should be appreciative of it, and you should give thanks to it. I don't care what people say. I don't care. There's some hunters out
Yeah.
there that would get, oh, you're full of shit. I don't
Yeah.
care. But the fact
Yeah. No
is,
problem.
you should be appreciative of it. You should be thankful, and you should give that honor to that animal for being that. Because it doesn't matter any of the other stuff. If you died today and it was for the benefit of somebody else, wouldn't you want, or wouldn't
Yeah.
you appreciate the fact that somebody gave honor to you? I mean, I
Well,
don't
well,
know. Maybe I'm
all right.
crazy.
Well, Jammer, here's the one. I am agreeing with you, but you're forgetting that McDonald's sells something like 500 million burgers a day globally. So it's like how do you stop? How would you stop all that? Like, there's no way to really police, or it's just out of control at this point as far as like the amount of beef production that's
Well,
happening.
here's the thing about that is, if you didn't kill it yourself, you still should pay homage to whatever you're getting.
And like a lot of religions will have the Jews with kosher stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I know a lot of people that are Jewish, and I respect that a lot because my daughter, her mom has a Jewish lineage, and they do celebrate Jewish holidays, so I respect those immensely.
Mhm.
And there's like you don't eat pork. There's other stuff that you don't do, and there's meat stuff, and you kind of understand that, like, okay, it's the meats that are harder to control. Like, if you think about stuff like pork and shellfish, and like, so pork has a way higher disease rate than uh chicken and beef, for instance. It's just
Oh
because
yeah.
the nature of the cells and stuff. It's not like it's cursed. People thought pork was cursed. No, pork's not cursed. It's just the temperature that it grows bacteria is just different than other meats or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
we're not like witch hunters anymore. We're not like, oh, it's cursed by witches. But like, it's interesting though how certain religions would have they adapted to that without even knowing the science, right? So I don't know. It's
Oh no, I agree with you. I mean, I feel the same way.
it's no, it's really interesting. It actually, like, man, there's one thing I pride myself is I have a really open mind to stuff. I feel like that's the downfall of everything, right? Like, there's nobody has an open mind anymore, and then we're fucked. Nobody can compromise, and nobody can. How are we even going to negotiate?
Listen. The fact is, if you can have an open mind and you're more liberal, right? And I am more on the conservative side, but I
Yeah,
have an open mind. There's
sure.
ground we can meet upon.
We and let's say that, like, me and you were the leader of both parties of the United States of America right now. I feel like we would be able, because we're kind of wearing like red, white, and blue stuff. I feel like I feel like, dude, I would be like, we could like come to an agreement where everybody would be happy, right?
Yes, exactly. I don't see why when they talk about oh, we can't go, we're going to shut down the government, we're going to do this and that and everything. That's
Yeah,
bullshit. Because there should be some kind of middle ground if you are not being dictated to by some ultimate power
sure.
and
Yeah, and there's
manipulating you.
nobody is right at the moment. And you know what? Do you think it's overblown that Trump wants to be a dictator? Dude, Trump is a fucking. He's not going to be a dictator. I don't know. I can't see him. He's like, hold on. Here's my Trump impression. I'm gonna do like him talking to Shag Dog. Like, Shag Dog, you were right. I'm gonna be a dictator. I've done it. I'm
Now,
gonna be the best. I'm gonna be the best dictator you've ever seen, Shag Dog.
I don't see that. I personally think that he would just be a regular president, go into office and everything. He might turn around and expose a lot of the crappy doings by people,
Yeah,
but
sure.
as being a president, like everybody else, I think that he would be
Yeah,
a president and he would turn around. And he's all. And here's the thing about it. Back in the day, he has always said, if I can buy it American, I'll buy it American, and I'll use it in my buildings and my construction and everything else.
yeah,
He hasn't been able to buy American for many years, and that has irritated him
yeah,
to a degree. Now, fast forward 20 years when he becomes, talks about being president and everything. Now all of a sudden he's unable to get any materials whatsoever for his buildings and all that other stuff
yeah,
that he's doing that is American, and he's pushing for American. I can understand that. I can understand that he is irritated with that, and he wants to look at America as the what you call
yeah,
it, because his family, not that I think his father or grandfather is the one who came over
yeah, yeah.
originally.
Well, no, yeah. The grandfather's the one that
Is
came over that dodged the German war draft. If that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so you have the German. The grandfather comes over, so
That
that
was the World War One. He dodged the World War One German draft.
then you have the World War. The father turn around and come in to, and become American and all that stuff. So I could see him thinking, "This is a great country. Look at me. We came just 2 generations ago, and here I am. I'm a multi-millionaire, billionaire, or whatever like that. And he could see it. So I guess in a way I like to believe. Maybe I'm naive.
Yeah.
I like to believe that that's a part of it, and that he is truly for America. I
Look,
don't
man.
know. I don't
So,
know.
so can I say something positive about Trump, which is rare for me?
Yeah.
He has passion for this country. You
Yeah.
cannot deny that. And he gets up there and he gets all motivated like America. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Like he gets like really like excited, and it's like
Infectious.
yeah, and I think it's because he really means it. It's not,
I like to believe it, and I tend to believe it that he
and
believes
I'm
it.
hoping that's because he has enough money on the side that he doesn't need to make money off of it. He's doing it because he believes in it,
Yeah. I like to
right?
believe that too. Yeah.
Right? But is that just us being naive? I
I
mean,
don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Because some people that have money want more money and more power and everything. And so, uh,
yeah, but that's always,
but
that
then
doesn't matter
again,
who's in
but
charge.
then again, the closer you get to death, let's face it, the closer you get to death,
Yeah,
you're getting up there in age, and the closer you get to that age where you're going to die, and you know you're going to die and everything, you want to leave a
yeah,
legacy. You want to
yeah.
leave a remembrance of you being a good
Yeah.
person and all that stuff.
Hold on.
Most people
I'm listening
do.
to you. I'm gonna feed my cat, but I'll be right back. I'm right
That's
still here.
fine. Most people do. With that being said, would you would you think to yourself that this person is actually striving to do something good that he can pass on to the next generation, to his grandkids and great grandkids? I mean, that I feel as though is one of his motivations. He doesn't want to be remembered as a bad guy. He doesn't want to be remembered as the person who declared
Yeah,
bankruptcy several times and all
yeah,
that stuff as a company and everything like that. I think really pushes the fact that he wants to do something that's good for America and does. And maybe I'm being naive about it, but that's how I feel. I feel it's honorable.
yeah. No, for sure, man. Hold on, I'll be right. I'm gonna be right there in 1 sec.
No problem. But then again, you can never tell with these people because if you're a politician in any kind of form, whether you're normally a politician or whether you became a politician, it doesn't matter. Most politicians are liars, and most politicians will do whatever the crowd
Yeah.
dictates. And what I mean by that is if the crowd says, hey, we like hot sauce, then you're going to say, "Oh, I love hot sauce. I had some hot sauce." Just like Hillary Clinton was trying to, hot sauce. But if you don't like hot sauce, guess what? They're not going to say they like hot sauce. They're going to, "Oh, I love ketchup." Well, they're going to say, "Well, I love ketchup. Ketchup's number one. I love Heinz or Hunt's, whichever one."
No,
They're going to
you're
say whatever they
exactly.
think that you're going to want to hear.
No, sorry. I was gonna like. I feel bad, but I might as well go through with it. I was gonna talk shit about Shag Dog. I was gonna say, yeah, poor Shag Dog. All he ever thinks about the highlight of his day is thinking about mayo or ketchup.
Yeah.
But I've been like, he talks shit about Colorado, man. He like sent me, and then he backtracked and be like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Like, he was like attacking Colorado, and I'm like, dude, fucking like. And I was like, dude, Colorado, like, we didn't do anything, man. Like, it was a Republican. They don't want Trump on the ballot there. The Republicans don't want him.
Yeah. See, and then the thing about that is, why don't they? Because he's a part of the Republican Party. So
All
why
right,
don't they?
because they're rhinos. If you want to, like, if I'm trying to like talk to you in like a language you don't understand, they'd be rhinos, right? Because they're rejecting Trump. Like Colorado is like it's a very independent kind of like state. You know what I mean?
Well, I understand that because Florida is more independent.
Than people think, but you guys still go. I mean, like, but Ron DeSantis, man, his fucking like campaign cratered. But he shouldn't have gone up against Trump. That was dumb.
Well, first of all, he shouldn't have done a lot of things he did. One, he turned around and said it's all right to use radioactive.
Radioactive asphalt. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
that don't make any
Uh,
sense. You're a fucking moron if you think that's good. It's bad enough
yeah,
for being exposed by carbon monoxide and the
yeah,
sun and all that stuff, and then you turn around and
no,
say, "Oh, let's make it radioactive," you know.
yeah.
Then you have the other aspect where he's being I forget what it was now. Golly, I can't remember what it was.
I know what you mean. Like, I mean, like, yeah,
There
he's
was like two or
culpable.
three things that just kind of. Oh, he said, "Everybody come to Florida. Oh, we're
Yeah,
okay. We don't pay taxes here. We don't have
yeah,
state tax. Come to Florida. Come to Florida." And everybody started coming to Florida, and everybody's like, "What the fuck did you just do? You don't even have the infrastructure for these people, and you're
yeah,
turning around and having them come in here? What the hell? Are you a freaking
yeah.
moron? We hate you. Die."
No,
You
like,
know?
so like, I heard that like medical services took a hit because they couldn't take on all the people.
Oh yeah, that and
Even
the
even
interstate.
even my dad, it was like, what the fuck? Like, I can't find a good of a doctor as I could. Like he had to like search around to like,
Let me tell you, you talk about traffic and you talk about everything else. It all stems from him inviting everybody and their brother to come to Florida,
dude.
and
So
it
I,
does
I
not make any sense.
dude, Jammer, I'll tell you the scariest traffic I've ever seen was in 2021. I was actually in Florida, but I wish I could have like contacted you and Shag Dog. So I'm gonna apologize in advance, just saying that like I was there for work, and this was like hell, and I there was no way I could meet up with you guys anyway.
No
But
problem.
we were in traffic. I was in this rental car with somebody driving for this corporate conference thing, and man, there was somebody weaving in and out of lanes like Mad Max style, like almost like. Have you ever seen somebody like people that get
Every
all
day,
crazy like that? Like,
every
yeah.
day.
And to us, it was shock. We were like, "Whoa!" And this person's like weaving around and like, burr, 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 like and going like cutting in front of people, and there's people that I guess actually exchange gunfire like regularly too out there. Like,
Well, let me tell you this: when I was down in South Florida, I saw a lot of
wow,
different expensive vehicles, like Lambos
sure,
and
yeah,
Ferraris and stuff like that. And it was
yeah,
kind of indication of how it was the ultra
yeah,
rich and the ultra poor,
yeah,
and there was not much in between. Well, everything that comes from Miami ventures up the state eventually. And
yeah,
now what has happened is that a lot of the ultra rich have moved towards Tampa, Orlando areas. So now I've been seeing more Ferraris, Maseratis, and Lamborghinis and stuff like that. And I think to myself, okay, you got these cars, and there's a big disparaging amount of distance between the rich and the
yeah,
poor, and it's an indication that eventually it's not going to be feasible for people to live in that area because the rich are going to end up living in those areas and the poor are going to eventually be living on the outskirts somewhere. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that means middle class as well because middle class cannot afford a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or a
yeah,
Maserati. So that means we'll be living on the edges of the city or edges of the county or whatever you want to call it. It's
yeah,
not a good thing, you know. And I see that. And like you're saying, with the vehicles and the traffic and everything, it's crazy because no matter how bad the traffic is, that Lamborghini can't go any faster than I can.
yeah.
Because it's that bad of traffic, bumper to bumper on the Howard Franklin. Well, guess what? You're not going any faster than I, you know, because I can guarantee you that I'm going anywhere between 65 and 90 miles an hour across the Howard Franklin, depending on traffic.
Well, I guess you raise the ultimate question: is why? Why does that situation exist? And I think it's because the person that has the Lamborghini, even though their life is absurd and doesn't make any sense, it's attractive to people because it represents power in its rawest form, which is usually, I mean, one animal in the pack isn't meant to have this much power, so it's exotic, you know?
Yes, yes, but the fact is that every community. I don't know if you realize this, but even the poor communities, if you want to see where the power is, all right, like one of the areas that I used to live in, they have a lot of part stores, auto part stores, and a lot of banks.
Yeah, that
The
makes sense. That's
what
where you
what
kind of
two?
like get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah, and the two things that means is the banks. A lot of banks means there's a lot of money in there to be had, right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of auto parts stores means there's a lot of vehicles that need auto parts, right? And if you really look at it, that means a lot of the people who are getting the auto parts are not on the well to do side because they're buying auto parts for their
Yeah,
vehicles.
they're trying to repair cars. Also, what's this is like crazy jammer that you say this and you're gonna be like you're a communist, but there are some thoughts that the automobile itself, if you were like an evil ruling class, would use that as sort of a way that you knew that people down the realm of things would have trouble with things breaking down and stuff. It's actually almost a perfect way to form a caste system because you need a car to get to work, right? You need a car, or if you even want to go on vacation or something, you need a car. It gives you agency, right?
Yeah, well, the whole car industry if you look at it from the history of the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, they
Sure.
have a caste system. You are, if you're Chevy, okay, you buy Chevy,
Yeah.
right? The step
Yeah.
up from that is either Buick, right,
Yeah.
or a
Sure. I
GMC,
forgot about that.
right?
Yeah.
GMC
Yeah. Right.
or Cadillac. All right, so you got Buick, Cadillac, GMC. So you got Chevy, GMC, Buick, Cadillac is how it's supposed to go, right?
Yeah.
Ford
Yeah.
used to have it. Ford used to have Ford, Mercury, then Lincoln. You know, Chrysler
Yeah.
had the same thing. They had different levels. As you uh, went got raises and promotions and
Yeah.
everything, you went up to the next level, which means that you would be not just
Yeah.
a Ford person anymore. Now you're a Mercury person, and now you go to Lincoln, you know,
Yeah.
and so forth. Same thing,
So,
you know.
so I hate to interrupt you, my friend. I need to go. I have a timer going off. I need to go tend to some food. I need to eat some food. I think you should probably too. I hope your beer's good.
Oh yeah.
Like let's. I mean, maybe you don't. If you want to keep casting without me and pull me back in later,
Oh no, no.
I'll.
After this, I'll probably be done because I got
Yeah,
things I got to do too.
I need
So
to go. Yeah, I need to go eat. I need to do some stuff. So, peace, man.
yeah,
It was awesome chilling, man.
I'm glad to get with you before the end of the year because this is probably
Yeah,
the last one I'll have. If I
yeah,
knew Shag Dog was going to be the last time I was with Shag Dog, I would have mentioned it and everything. But now I can say that this is the
yeah.
end. I probably won't be back until the new year. You know,
All right.
pretty much. I hate to say it that way, but I know I end up having to work it. You know, that's the bitch of it.
Yeah.
So
All right, man. Well, rock on, bro.
yeah, take
Uh,
care. Happy New Year. I wish
Happy New
you and
Year.
Julia the
Yeah,
best.
yeah,
Hopefully, it's a safe, a productive, and exciting year for you
yeah.
guys,
Thanks.
and everything. And we'll see.
Yeah,
And everybody else out there, wish you the same. I hope that
yeah.
you enjoy life, and
All right,
hopefully,
man.
2024 won't be as bad as what you were contemplating.
We'll figure it out. All right, Jammer.
Take
Peace out,
care.
man.
Peace.
Peace, bro.
Take care, man.
Take care.
All right, guys, gals, and everything in between. We're going to go ahead and close out. Let me drink this. We'll see you.